Brad's Barbershop, 11 West. Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics. Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist. Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels. Ameriprise Financial. Radford Drug on West Main, and Brickhouse Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats.
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Alicia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug, who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise Financial Advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future, as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Dynamic products backed by uncompromising service since 1978. That's 11 West in Radford, with more years of experience than anyone in the New River Valley. 11 West specializes in screen printing, embroidery, sew-on, and flat printing. Let our graphic arts department create something really special for you, and there's specialty products to choose from too. Phone 639-9319 for the most professional way to display your company, club, or team. It's 11 West on New River Road in Radford, and 11 West wishes all area teams the best.
Hello, Bobcat fans. This is Timothy Worrells, one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network. And I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brickhouse Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats!
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Alicia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise Financial Advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Dynamic products backed by uncompromising service since 1978. That's 11 West in Radford, with more years of experience than anyone in the New River Valley. 11 West specializes in screen printing, embroidery, sew-on, and flat printing. Let our graphic arts department create something really special for you, and there's specialty products to choose from too. Phone 639-9319 for the most professional way to display your company, club, or team. It's 11 West on New River Road in Radford, and 11 West wishes all area teams the best.
Hello, Bobcat fans. This is Timothy Worrells, one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network. And I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brick House Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here.
Hello there, Bobcat Nation, and welcome back to another edition of Bobcat Sports Live. We are not on the NFHS today, but we are here live at VCU for your state championship game. It is myself, Michael Davis, alongside Doug Knipe today. So happy to have you, Doug. How's it going today?
It is going well. I'm excited to be here, and hopefully we can see the Bobcats hold off the John Marshall Justices and keep them at bay.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough task. You know, Bobcats are coming to this game 20-4 on the year. John Marshall 21-4 on the year. But the 4 losses they have are to some powerhouses in the state and outside of the state. They are averaging almost 80 points a game this year. Bobcats averaging a respected 50 points a game in their area, but this Justices team will be a high-scoring offense, and the Bobcats are obviously coming in, try to prevent that, but it is going to be a tough task. We said this before the game really got started, before we got on air here, that this is probably the first time this year I've looked on the floor and thought we're playing absolute grown men today.
Yeah, they've got a couple guys, one on the roster that's 6'10", and he and a couple other guys that are 6'7", 6'8". So we're going to have a big challenge, especially inside the paint today. And them also being very athletic, they're going to put a lot of pressure on our guards to make good passes and be able to get the ball down the floor very easily.
Yeah, I mean, Bobcats coming in, love going defensive first. This is a defense-first program, and if you can score, great. They're going to try to hold teams to around 40 to 55 points a game. It's going to be a tough task today, but you have to do it. And, if we're not talking about the players, me and Candace were talking about this yesterday. If you gave me one coach in this state to take, I would take Coach Cormany over anybody in the area. So I'm obviously going to give the coaching staff the nod in the Bobcats, but some of these guys can score. You got a couple guys, 3 guys total getting looked at for colleges. 1 committed or with a Kansas offer, a Virginia Tech offer. So they got some guys, and, it's going to be a tough task. But if you are the Bobcats coming in this game, coming off some big wins, what do you do coming in this contest to kind of stop this John Marshall team and kind of hold them, if you possibly can, to around 65 points?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge task. I think, to me, you would have to slow the game down. They're going to try and pressure us full court and even half court, and try and trap us and make us make bad throws. I watched a little bit of film, and that tends to be their mode of operation. So we've got to be able to handle those traps and find the first guy open. And then we should have a lot of open looks out there to hit some shots, and we got to make those shots once we get the open look. But if they're able to steal some passes and knock some balls around and get running on us, it might be a really very long night.
Yeah, a key note here for the Bobcats, no Isaiah Austin today. He's had some issues, so he is in the hospital, or hopefully he's okay.
The report is good. He was hoping to get here today, but I can't imagine that they would have allowed that. So, but he's a big loss because he's one of our better athletes on this team, and he would be a guy who could defend as well as handle a lot of the pressure they're going to give us.
Yeah, he's really come off the bench this year. In my opinion, 6th man of the year for the Bobcats.
Absolutely.
He's really been physical offensively and come up big in some spots, scoring as well. So tough loss for the Bobcats. But you're right, in transition is where the Bobcats have to kind of find this game a little bit. If they can break the press and score, and they can score. Landon Clark can knock the 3 down from anywhere on the floor. Elijah Kelly, in my opinion, reminds me of a young Kevin Durant. Has the size, can attack the basket, can shoot the 3. If he could knock the 3 ball, I've said this all year, down consistently, he would be a game changer for the Bobcats, and he already is. And, of course, Gavin Cormany can score pretty much anytime he wants. That being said, that is 3 sophomores we just talked about. Nathan Wesley, the senior, Joseph Mitchell, the senior. Different roles for them this year. Nathan Wesley ran the point for most of his younger career here at Radford High School, and he's had to change his role, a veteran leader for the Bobcats, but just different. And Joseph Mitchell, rebounding prowess for the Bobcats. But like you said, this John Marshall team has guys 6'10". They got some big bodies down here. Can the Bobcats defend and rebound?
Yeah, our big guys are going to have obviously a huge challenge with Joseph and Brandon Thompson and Max Knipe coming and playing some of these post guys. They're going to have to box out. They're going to have to put a body on them. They're probably going to get out jumped in a lot of cases, but if they get a body on them, hopefully the referees will see that and give us at least that advantage of doing what we're supposed to do and calling the right calls on that.
Yeah, I'll just give John Marshall some credit here. They're running a little drill where they pass the ball around and they shoot 3s. They made 6 threes in a row, and all from each a different player. So they're going to score the basketball. That being said, I do feel like they're going to score from one man first, right? So they got one guy who can score really well, and he's going to get his. Can the rest of the team get theirs? I think they can, but the Bobcats coming in from a different perspective. It's a real team-first mentality. Don't have one guy who's going to score you all the points. Got guys who can score, but this is a really team-first, team-before-me kind of Bobcats this year. And so it's going to be interesting. Can those two styles compete with each other? It is almost David versus Goliath, but that being said, in my opinion, it is March, and these games have to be played. Virginia Tech moving on in the ACC championship. If you'd have told me at the beginning of that, they wouldn't have made it, right? Duke, Gonzaga losing the way they did this year, if you'd have told me that wasn't going to happen. There's been some games at one point this year in college basketball, 1 through 7 all lost on the same day. That is unheard of. It's never happened before. So why not today for these Radford Bobcats?
Yeah, I was on Twitter the other day and was looking actually at the James River, and before we played them in the final game or the semifinal game, they had a "Why Not Us" on their Twitter, and my wife was just like, "Yep, that's absolutely why not us?" And I agree. I think we will have to play a nearly perfect game, and we will have to catch them either overlooking us or just catch them on a bad day to make this a close game. But it's certainly, there's no reason we can't do it. I know Max told me that there's a chance we may pull out a super special defense from the past that hopefully will help us at least catch them off guard a little bit and give us a better opportunity to slow them down.
Yeah, well, that's all you really can do. No team has been able to stop them. They have lost a few games, but it pretty much just came to the other team scoring more points. But the Bobcats can score, haven't scored that many points this year. But, you know, like I agree with you 1,000%. Why not these Bobcats? So let me ask you this, Doug. Watching all the games this year, if you are the Bobcats and you have to get into a scoring, you want to hold them to as few points as possible. But if you have to get into a scoring battle with this team, where do you look to get most of your points, and how do you look to score 65, 70 points?
It's going to have to be off of the traps and finding the open guy either in the lane for a layup or open on a three. You know, I think Landon Clark has an opportunity to have a huge day today as Gavin and Nate probably are the primary guys bringing the ball up. They're going to see those traps, and probably Landon's going to be the guy that, you know, if you know Rick Cormany, he's going to have them have the matchup where his best shooter is going to be open. So I would fully expect Landon to potentially have a really big day and have a lot of opportunities to make some big shots.
Yeah, there's a lot of scouts in this arena today. We've seen a few around, and you know, a lot of them right now watching John Marshall. They have some guys who are going to college, and they have some guys who are wanting to earn a spot on a roster somewhere. But there are two teams out here, and we've spoken about how good this offense is, but we got guys on our team. We talked about the sophomores. They will be here for a few more years, and they will be the guys that these coaches are looking at and calling about and seeing, and this is their opportunity. There is no better stage in the state of Virginia to be sitting here at VCU and say, hey, choose me, pick me. There's a lot of guys to choose from, but I got the heart and I got the size, and this is no better place to show it. So, again, I agree with you. Why not?
Yeah, and Elijah Kelly, too, is another one who most of the teams we've played during the regular season, there's not a matchup that is close to his athleticism and size. So he's been able to take advantage of that and score and have a lot of nice open breaks and stuff. Today he will have guys guarding him that are equally as on size and equal on athleticism. So an opportunity for him to shine in front of some of these scouts and coaches to show what he can do, and hopefully maybe get him one of those offers as well.
Yeah, defensively, John Marshall is going to try to keep us around the perimeter and try to just settle for threes. The one thing that does help the Bobcats is there is no shot clock in high school. I do believe they should add it, even if it's a really long shot clock. I think it would help the game. I think it would make the game better. But the Bobcats cannot just settle for threes. If they're open, you got to take them and you got to knock them down. But the Bobcats have to find some penetration here. John Marshall runs a man-to-man defense. Most high schools do. Most colleges do nowadays. It's actually rare to see guys drop back in a zone. So it's going to be man-to-man, so you have to penetrate in there, go inside out. You know, in my opinion, they're going to have to get the ball to Kelly in the high post and Joseph Mitchell in the high post. A little inside-out game. Never hurt anybody. And if Landon Clark could knock the three down, it's going to put pressure on this team. No one has pushed them, especially in their region, in their area this year. Once they got into conference play, region play, nobody's pushed them, so someone's got to try.
Yeah, I don't think they've won by less than 40 points so far in all of the tournament games. So
when you say it like that, I didn't realize it was that. I knew it was a lot.
It's pretty bad. I wrote it down on my paper. It was like of their losses, I was writing down their losses, and none of them were, or only one of them was Virginia. The rest of them were from out of state. So, it shows you how they get to travel around and see a lot of good competition to help themselves get even better.
Yeah, they're undefeated in the region, 6-0, and they've only lost 4 games this year. I was trying to find that stat there. As they're 18-2 of teams they've played in the state, and so they've actually played and traveled and played 4 total teams outside of the state. And so that's an interesting look. When you're used to playing guys in your area, the Bobcats will get some teams from out of the state to come in and play, once, maybe twice a year. But this team, they came into this year saying, we're just going to win the state title. Bobcats, you could argue, said, hey, we got some talent. didn't know if we'd make it here or not, but we're here. So let's do it. Let's be the Cinderella. Let's be the upset. And you don't normally see the Bobcats as the upset team, as a Cinderella team, usually coming in as a favorite. And even if they're not, you're not surprised that they win. But Bobcats got a lot of work to do. But, hey.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected this group coming off of losing the players they lost last year. They lost the majority of their scoring. And to come in with this many sophomores, a few of them played with them last year, but with this many sophomores and to get this far, I think, if you're honest with it, everybody thought James River would be the team to come from this side.
Absolutely.
But this coaching staff and these kids have worked so hard and earned this underdog status, and I don't think they're ready to give that up and show what they can do against this John Marshall team.
In the 2A State Ladies Championship we just had, the team that won was actually down 14 when I walked in the building, and they looked defeated. They looked tired. They had a freshman lead them all the way back and win that. Almost went to overtime. They won the contest by 3. So even if the Bobcats get down today, there's always hope as they're coming out on the floor for the last set of warm-ups. And we will be right back as well. I do not believe there'll be a national anthem. There will be some announcements. We'll go over the starting lineups, but we will be right back. And the next time you hear from us, it will be tip-off here in your state championship contest. Radford Bobcats, John Marshall again, Michael Davis, Doug Knight on Bobcat Sports Live. We'll be right back with the start of your championship contest.
Timothy Worrell is one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network, and I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brick House Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats.
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Elysia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise Financial Advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future, as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Dynamic products backed by uncompromising service since 1978. That's 11 West in Radford, with more years of experience than anyone in the New River Valley. 11 West specializes in screen printing, embroidery, sew-on, and flat printing. Let our graphic arts department create something really special for you, and there's specialty products to choose from too. Phone 639-9319 for the most professional way to display your company, club, or team. It's 11 West on New River Road in Radford, and 11 West wishes all area teams the best.
Hello, Bobcat fans. This is Timothy Worrells, one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network. And I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Caleb Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brickhouse Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats!
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Elysia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug, who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise Financial Advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
And we are back just a few moments from tip-off here. Michael Davis alongside Doug Knight, and we'll have your starting lineup, starting with John Marshall. Number 2, Damon Thompson, 12 points a game this year. Number 3, Ashawn Moore. Number 5, Reginald Robertson, 8 points per game this season. Number 11, the star, Dennis Parker Jr., 19 points per game. And number 23, 12 points a game, Stevie Stinson. Starting off for your Bobcats, the same lineup we've had all year. Don't change things up in the state championship. Number 2, Landon Clark. Number 14, Gavin Cormany. Number 20, Elijah Kelly. Number 24, Nathan Wesley. And number 32, Joseph Mitchell. 3 sophomores and 2 seniors for your Bobcats. Bobcats in the all-white home jerseys for your Bobcats. John Marshall in the all blue visiting uniforms. As the officials are set, the teams are set. And here we go. Tip-off here in your state championship game. Bobcats knock it out of bounds, so it will be John Marshall basketball. John Marshall's going to look to attack here. They're going to look to put up some threes today. As number 2 brings the ball across the floor, Thompson. Thompson dribbling to his right, guarded by Clark. He gives it off to Parker. Parker Jr. handoff pass to Robertson. Robertson stops, pulls up his dribble here. Left in no man's land, but get it down low to number 23, Stinson, as it's tipped out of bounds here by John Marshall. So it will be Bobcat basketball. They're going to start with a press, but good defensive effort to start for your Bobcats.
Yeah, and they're attacking the middle inside in the paint, so that's kind of what you would expect with their size difference. So we were able to tip the ball and get it off of them, so that helped.
Wesley bringing up the floor here. Bobcats break the press. They're looking to a trap, just as you said they would, Doug, here, but the Bobcats break it. Don't turn the ball over, but they're still going to look to trap here with Nathan Wesley with the ball at the top of the key. Landon Clark dribbles his right, shot is up. Looked like he was fouled on the arm there.
He got touched there.
And it will be turnover here for your Bobcats. Marshall looking to attack. 3 ball from Moore, no good. Rebounded by Elijah Kelly.
Yeah, he had a wide open 3 and missed it, and that's kind of the scouting I saw is they can shoot, but they don't shoot as well as us, I don't think.
Landon Clark with another 3, missed again. So Bobcats getting 2 good looks by Clark, just can't get him to go, and they're going to have to, as a travel is called on the other end. Number 11, Dennis Parker Jr., 19 points a game, look to attack the basket, and a travel is called on here. So 3 possessions for John Marshall. And we're all tied up at 0-0. That's the best start for the Bobcats they could ask for.
Yeah, Gavin did a good job there, not getting in too deep to foul him, just staying close enough to disrupt him, causing the travel.
Gavin Cormany bringing the ball across the floor for your Bobcats. Trap set by Marshall. Nathan Wesley has it at the line. Might turn it over here as he does step out. But you could argue he was pushed, but we're going to go with a turnover backcourt press here. Worked for John Marshall. That trap is vicious.
We're going to see that the whole game. They're going to continue to try and make us make bad passes and reach in and push us back, keep pushing us back.
You know, here's the thing, Doug. If you're the Bobcats, you know what's coming. Just pass the ball away before it gets there. And it's not even before it gets there. They're trapping you as soon as you come across, tipped out of bounds by Nathan Wesley. But you can move that basketball inside out. The problem is John Marshall has the height advantage. So everyone who touches the basketball is probably shorter than the guy that's guarding them.
Yeah, it's hard to get it over top of them. So that's going to be the struggle. I would prefer to wait and kind of get them to commit early and then find the open guy to make the pass to.
Max Knipe checking in for the Bobcats here for the first time today. So number 5 with the basketball. Shot is up, 3 ball and good. And that is made by Robertson.
Yeah, that was a college level 3 there.
Yeah, behind the line. You see the difference here. They have the high school painted here in front of us. Nathan Wesley attacks the basket, and he's fouled. But that's a big-time shot by Marshall to put them on the board.
Fouls on Thompson for John Marshall. So if we can get in there early and get some foul trouble with them, that might help us a lot. They have a pretty good bench, I think, as well. But if you can get some of those good star players out of there, that'll definitely give us a chance.
Nathan Wesley's first shot is up and no good there. So Bobcats have had pretty good looks at the basket, and now their first free throw not made. So, Doug, you alluded the Bobcats have to have their best night. Haven't started great, but they finally break the seal on the basket and get that one to go, Nathan Wesley. So Parker Praley will come off the bench for him.
Yeah, we'll have to sub a lot, just like we always do, to keep everybody fresh to be able to handle the athleticism they'll bring to us.
John Marshall bringing the ball down. Number 11, Parker with it, attacks, gives it up, and it looks like it will be poked out of bounds by the Bobcats. So John Marshall will inbound underneath. It looks like number 2, Thompson, will inbound. As they've had a couple times trying to get it inside to their bigger players, and they just can't seem. The Bobcats defense in the paint is doing pretty well. As John Marshall, number 11, attacks. Parker misses his shot, but it's rebounded by John Marshall and put back in. So 5-0 is your score as Gavin Cormie looks to answer. Good rebound by Knipe, but can't get the finish. And here comes John Marshall in transition, attacking the paint. Shot is up, no good. and it's tipped out of bounds by John Marshall. So John Marshall having some good looks at the basket, can't finish. 5-1's your score.
Yeah, we're able to get back. We're getting back good on defense and creating some pressure on those baskets instead of just easy layups. But we've got to be able to handle that getting back down the court.
Yeah, this John Marshall team, very athletic, very quick. They're going to try to run. Bobcats have to get it across midcourt. They do. Gavin Corman, he gives it up to Elijah Kelly. Elijah Kelly, swing pass over to Landon Clark in the corner. Interior drive, can't get the layup to finish. And here comes John Marshall. Number 23, Stinson, gives it up to number 5, Robertson. He can't get it to go. So Bobcats, Max Knight gets the rebound. He almost gets it stolen away here. Finally gets it, but the Bobcats have to get across midcourt. They're already at about 8 seconds. They need to finish, and a 10 seconds is called. Bobcats didn't understand, and I don't even think Gavin Cormier realizes what they called. That's a turnover. I actually agree with Coach Cormier here.
Yeah.
It was a loose ball, so I don't know. No one gained possession, but I assume what they called is that because he grabbed the rebound and then lost it, it didn't reset.
Yeah, I guess that's what they called, but they were fighting for the ball, so it should have reset, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a tough break for your Bobcats. Again, though, 5-1 is your score. Thompson bringing the ball up. Tayshawn Cords Jr., who just checked in for Marshall. First substitution of the game for them. Thompson attacking the middle of the paint here, gives it up to number 11, Parker Jr. Parker Jr. from 3. That's good. 3 ball behind the college line.
Hard to defend that, just taking it over top of you.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do. He's going to get his tonight, but you have to keep scoring. Bobcats only have 1 point, stolen away here by Bailey. Bailey in transition gets a layup, and Coach Cormier will take his first timeout. So first timeout of the contest. John Marshall leading 10-1, and we will be right back as well after we hear a quick ad from Brad's Barbershop.
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Elysia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
Bobcats 1, John Marshall 10 here after your first time out by Coach Cormier. Inbounding for the Bobcats here. Bobcats break the press. Nathan Wesley dribbling in the paint, gives it out to Gavin Cormier. Bobcats have had good looks, Doug, but haven't gotten anything to go. If you're Coach Cormier, what are you saying in that time out there? As they turn it over, John Marshall in transition, going to attack the paint. They love to do that in transition. First shot is no good, but number 11, Parker Jr., cleaning up the trash. He now has 5 points.
I'm sure he was telling them we've got to calm down, and I think we're getting a little excited and trying to rush our shots and rush our things. And speaking of which, there comes Landon with the take his time, hit a wide open 3.
That's what the Bobcats have to do. Landon is now 1 for 3 on the day, but he's had good looks. They're going to give you looks. That's the thing. This John Marshall team will let you shoot the ball because they believe they can outscore anybody in the state. As the Bobcats come away with the rebound here, Elijah Kelly bringing the ball across, all the way attacks the basket, and a charge is going to be called. And that's more of the college charge you see, moving his feet for sure. Had good guarding position. Coach Cormier frustrated with it, but that's, in my opinion, the difference in a college charge and a high school charge. And no offense, these officials are going to be calling this a big boy game, and it will be called that way.
Yeah, he got right in position, and Elijah did not adjust to it, so he's going to have to learn that as he's trying to do this, because we need Elijah to step up here and try and drive to the basket. He's the one guy that has the athleticism to do it, and we need to see more of that.
John Marshall leading 12-4 over your Bobcats. 3 minutes to go in the first period. Number 2, Thompson with the basketball, swing pass around. Marshall moves the ball very well, very fast. And Thompson with the shot is no good, rebounded by Gavin Cormier. Gavin Cormier in transition, attacking the paint as another charge is going to be called. And so that's 2 possessions in a row and 2 charges by John Marshall. Don't see that a whole lot. Normally your Bobcats are drawing the charges, but Coach Cormier says, okay, that's fine. If you're going to call them, we can do it too.
Our guys are rushing, and they're having trouble with their athleticism and being able to get around them, so it's kind of forcing them to get in positions we don't normally get into and charging on those plays.
Number 2, Thompson bringing the ball up the floor. They get some touches inside to Dark, biggest player on the floor. Marshall shoots the 3. It is rebounded by Elijah Kelly, but a big, strong number 21, Malachi Dark commits a foul.
But just like I said on that, if we box out, which Elijah did, and this guy's got 100 pounds on Elijah, but Elijah boxed out. The referees made the call like they should have.
Yeah, I would say Dark has some football scouts in the arena looking at him today as the Bobcats break the press. Landon Clark, college 3, bang it! That's good. Landon Clark with 6 points, and the Bobcats now 7-12 have a little bit of life here, but Marshall going to look to answer as Parker Prelo almost comes away with the steal. Number 23 attacking the paint for John Marshall, gets it to go. So Stevie Stevenson averaging 12 points a game gets his first, as I believe Coach Cormier called, John Marshall actually called their first time out of the contest.
Yeah, what I kind of expected and watched in that first game that I watched was they get the open threes looks, but they weren't hitting them, very many of them. They had a couple guys that could be somewhat consistent, and now they're getting the open looks and not hitting them, and we're doing a good job boxing out, being able to get the rebounds, either getting them to foul us or getting it down the court. Now we just have to kind of calm down, let the game come to us, and get those open shots down.
Yeah, this John Marshall team may not score from making every shot, but their thought process is similar to an Alabama-style offense in college. We're going to attack the paint, and we're going to shoot threes, and we're going to shoot so many threes that even if 40%, even 30% of them go in, we're going to win the ball game. That's their mentality coming into this, and it's working so far. They have 14 points here in the first period, and we still have 2 minutes to go. Bobcats inbound off the timeout by John Marshall. Nathan Wesley taking it all the way, can't get the finish to go, so Bobcats with another look, can't get that finger roll finish, and here comes John Marshall, number 23, Stinson gets it off to number 11. Parker Jr. in the corner is John Marshall, and no good. Bobcats, Landon Clark being pestered off the rebound, going to go full court with it. Step back jumper is no good, in and out. Big, strong rebound by Parker Prelo, but he turns it over.
Yeah, that was the open 3 you wanted for Landon. It felt like it was going to go down, but didn't. But Landon comes down, boxes out, gets the rebound.
Yeah, number 23 here, Stevie Stinson wanted to take it all the way. They got the size and they got the guys to do that. All of their shots are not falling. So if the Bobcats can hit a shot and Elijah Kelly misses a 3 in and out. So good look there by Kelly, just can't get it to go. And here comes Marshall, number 11. No box out on big 21, Malachi Dark. So he cleans up the trash. And that's what you have to do. This team's going to put up shots, and they're going to miss some. You have to get these rebounds. And it was just an open look for him.
Yeah, it looks like now they're coming off of they just called a 5-second. Well, that's surprising. It didn't look like he had closely guarded for 5 seconds, but that's what they just called when Gavin Cormany. Looked like they had pulled off of the double teaming and were letting us start to run the offense, and then all of a sudden called the 5-second call.
Yeah, so 2 interesting calls here in the favor of John Marshall. I'm not saying anything. I'm just stating the facts as John Marshall gets another shot up, misses, but gets the rebound here, tipped around. Number 1, Kayshawn Cords comes up with it. Another missed shot, and Elijah Kelly rips it down, and he'll be fouled by number 23, Stevie Stinson. So good on Elijah Kelly, but he gets his ankle rolled up on. He comes up limping.
Yeah, Stinson was already on the floor, and he just kind of grabbed him and pulled him down is what it kind of looked like.
So the Bobcats won't inbound. Again, full court press for John Marshall here as they're going to pester the Bobcats all the way down from inbounding and all the way down the floor as they're going to try to draw another 10 seconds here. Elijah Kelly gives it up to Parker Prelo. Normally the fastest player on the floor, but he picks up his dribble. It's poked away, so he gets it back. So good there for Parker because he was trapped, stuck in no man's land. Landon Clark, jump back, is good. Another 3 for Landon Clark. He has 9. He's going to have to put the Bobcats on his back here as he falls on the floor in transition. So 10-16, 3 seconds to go in the period. Shot is up by John Marshall, no good. So that will be the period. John Marshall started off hot, and the Bobcats rallied back. It was 10-1 at the first timeout by Coach Cormany. And at the end of the first period, Bobcats trail 16-10. Have a little life, and we'll be right back after the end of this period break.
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug, who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, the start of your second period about to be underway. Bobcats trailing 10-16 against this John Marshall team. Bobcats were down 10-1 at the first timeout with 4 minutes to go in the period and fought back there. They have a little life, but that's because Landon Clark has 9 points.
Yeah, they've settled down pretty good and calmed down, but they're going to have to find somebody else to step up and hit some open shots. They continue to pressure us heavily, but there's still plenty of open shots. As Elijah Kelly takes it in, draws the foul. I think that's on Stinson, right?
It was. So
that's his second foul, which hopefully that's a good thing.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have to go to the bench. It doesn't look like the coach is going to change it, but he's not liking these foul calls at the rim of the Bobcats. So Elijah Kelly will go to the line.
I like that Elijah challenged it. Challenged one of their bigger players to start showing them he's ready to take them on.
Elijah Kelly, though, missing his first free throw. You got to knock these down if you're the Bobcats. So Kelly shot is up and no good. So misses them both. Bobcats now 1 of 4 from the line. Big block by Elijah Kelly on the other end. Saves it there as he missed both his free throws, but comes up big on the defensive end. Bobcats here looking to answer down 6. Parker Prelo on the floor has the ball as they called a moving screen on Gavin Cormany. I don't even think he made contact. What the contact was Landon Clark and number 5.
Yeah, it looked like 5
Reginald Robertson.
Like 5 was holding Landon as he went around, and Gavin wasn't even close.
So that's I believe, the second foul on Gavin Cormany of this contest. So he'll go to the bench, and with 7:34 to go in the second, that's not what you need, one of your star players on the bench.
Yeah, and the ball handling he brings is so important. And so we're going to have to find somebody else to be bringing the ball up.
Marshall get it inside to Dark, and Dark finishes in the paint. So he has 4 points now. Just a big body for John Marshall. They could almost do that anytime they want. As Nathan Wesley brings the ball across the floor, attacks Dark, gets it to go. So Nathan Wesley, with his first field goal, now has 3 points. But John Marshall looks to answer on the other end. Missed layup, though. Here comes Nathan Wesley. This game is back and forth as John Marshall gets a steal in transition here. Parker Jr. slams it home. So he'll have 7 points. And John Marshall answers now up 8.
Yeah, again, a turnover off of transition that we've got to make better passes and handle the ball and not make mistakes like that. Makes it real easy. They take off as soon as the pass is made. They start taking off down the floor.
This game is back and forth, high-flying action here. Elijah Kelly, mid-range jumper, no good. Good, strong rebound by Knight. Gets out to Nathan Wesley. Wesley from 3, no good. That would have been a big game swing for the Bobcats. Great rebounding there by Max Knight. But John Marshall looks to answer. They're attacking the paint here. Number 2 splits the D. Damon Thompson gets his bucket to go. So Cats now down 10 as Elijah Kelly looks to attack the paint. Should have been goaltending, I thought, on John Marshall, but no call here by the official. And here comes John Marshall in transition, number 11, Parker Jr. from 3. That's good. The Bobcats have to take a timeout. In my opinion, John Marshall is really dominating this game here. That being said, the Bobcats have not gotten any help from the officials tonight.
No, I mean they're bigger and more physical than we are, so we have to play bigger to force them to call those fouls and do those things. So boxing out, those fundamental things like that are going to be extra important with the athleticism that John Marshall brings. I'm still not sure it's enough, honestly, because as soon as they get the ball, they have two guys down the floor either setting up for the three or ready to go for the layup.
Yeah, you see this a lot in the college game. As soon as the ball is touched, guards are out. They're not waiting on anything. They're going to move as quickly as possible. This John Marshall team is ready for the next level. I just don't know if the Bobcats can really compete right now at this time. That being said, Landon Clark with 9, Elijah Kelly with 0 points, unless I'm mistaken in this contest, has to step up. He's trying for the Bobcats, but the Bobcats inbounding. The official just put it on the ground. Does he not realize neither team was on the floor? So I don't understand what's going on there. I understand there's a pace of play outcome here as Elijah Kelly attacks the paint, and we just talked about him. So he gets his first points of the contest.
We need a lot more of that for him to he can take advantage of his athleticism against them.
Number 5, Reginald Robertson with his first points of the contest, knocks it down from 3. So as soon as the Bobcats answer, John Marshall ready to put the nail early on in this contest.
Yeah, they're gonna go for the jugular really quick and make it where we don't have a choice.
Elijah Kelly splitting the D. A foul is called on John Marshall. So that's what the Bobcats have done pretty well here. They just can't get the finish to go. So they're now, instead of just settling for 3, there's really attacking the paint here on this John Marshall team. Checking in for the Bobcats for the first time tonight, number 30, Brandon Thompson, as well as Gavin Corman.
Yeah, Gavin's back in with 2 fouls, so he's going to have to be careful. Especially, I'm sure they will attack him.
Yeah, well, at what point, and this is kind of what I was thinking, at one point do you have to just put him out there, because if you want to try to win this ball game, your best scorers have to be out there. He does have 2 fouls, so he has to be careful. Good screen by Brandon Thompson. Gavin Cormany, 3 ball is good. Gavin Cormany with his first points of the contest comes off the bench with 2 fouls and gets it to go.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say Gavin hasn't scored yet, which is extremely unusual for us. He's usually one of the first guys, and he hadn't really had a lot of open looks to take, so he gets that first one with a great screen from Brandon and knocks it down.
Gavin Cormany also gets a steal on the defensive end, so it's allowing the Bobcats to get another look at it. Pump fake, screen by Thompson. Good defense by John Marshall, but he gets to the mid-range spot, and it's good. So Gavin Cormany coming off the bench, 2 fouls, no points, gets his first 2 shots to go after coming off the bench. Bobcats trail 19-28.
I expect he got a good little talking to when he had the 2 fouls.
But Damon Thompson answers from behind the three-point line for John Marshall. So the Bobcats doing everything they can to score, and they score, but John Marshall just seems to answer every time.
They are definitely knocking down the buckets a lot more than I saw in the original film that I watched.
Number 11 for John Marshall being attacked here. He tries to attack the paint. Parker Jr. gets his own rebound, puts it back up, misses again, and it gets poked out of bounds, but it's off his leg, so it will be Bobcats basketball. That being said, Bobcats look gassed right now. Elijah Kelly is huffing and puffing in front of us as Joseph Mitchell comes in for him. Joseph Mitchell checked out early in the contest and is now on the floor for Elijah Kelly. And that does give you a nice rebounding player with him and Brandon Thompson both on the floor, but a different look here. Parker Prelo as well as Cam Cormany and Landon Clark for the Bobcats.
Well, you lose with Elijah off the floor, you lose that ability to really dribble drive other than maybe Gavin.
Parker Jr., John Marshall gets a steal off the trap. He goes to attack the paint, misses, but gets his own rebound. So he's putting a lot of effort in to get his points tonight. Bobcats are festering him, but it will be a foul on the Bobcats, so he'll go to the line.
That foul ended up being on Brandon. There were several guys around him. Brandon, I guess, is the one that got him, but at least kept him from getting the and one.
Parker Jr. first shot is up and no good. So Dennis Parker Jr. with 10 points in this first half misses his first free throw of the contest. Second shot up for Parker and is no good. So 0 for 2 right there from the line. Good break if you're the Bobcats. Gavin Cormany now going to have to bring the ball up the floor with Nathan Wesley and Elijah Kelly on the bench. So Gavin Cormany, screen set by Mitchell, dribbles to the right side of the floor, calling out 5 here. I'm surprised they didn't call this 5-second again. They're not really guarding up on it. That's the thing. I don't understand how that could have been called earlier. They're just in the offense. They're letting them run here. Parker Prelo being heavily guarded here.
Well, the rule is technically 6 feet is the guarding, and so most officials don't really, I won't say, that halo is pretty big, actually, and most officials don't call that. Landon Thompson with a big 3 right over top of the defense.
So Landon Clark now has 12 points in this first half of 22 for your Bobcats, but John Marshall answers again. Dennis Parker Jr. hits another 3. That's his third 3 of the half and lead 34-22. Anytime the Bobcats do something, John Marshall seems to answer, but that's kind of what we expected in this contest. They're averaging 77 points a game. They have 34 here in the first half. Gavin Cormany with the basketball, being guarded by Parker Jr., gives it to Parker Prelo in the corner. Prelo dribbling to his left, screen set by Brandon Thompson, dribbles to the top of the key, dribbles on the floor. Number 23 falls, splits the D, gives it over to Joseph Mitchell in the corner, not known for three-point shooting, but can knock some down, attacks the middle of the floor, gives it up to Gavin Cormany, and good defensive possession here by John Marshall.
Yeah, one of the issues we have too is inside. They don't have to guard really anybody, so they can stay out on everybody and be able to keep pressure on those outside shots.
Ball moved in transition by Parker Jr. 3 guys get the touches. It goes to number 2, Damon Thompson, and that's his second three-pointer of the contest. Bobcats have to get it across mid-floor. They don't have time. I don't know if Brandon Thompson knows how much time it is, but Joseph Mitchell finally gets it, and the Bobcats almost get another 10-second call there. As Gavin Cormany, Landon Clark's being held, and he's actually talking to the official in the middle of the play. A block by John Marshall, but it goes in anyway.
Wow.
That I've never seen anything like that. It happened to go in, so Cam Cormany gets another bucket to go as Brandon Thompson rips down the rebound. This John Marshall team puts up shots, and they put them up in a hurry.
I mean, I almost thought that was goaltending, and then he still got it to go in. That
Landon Clark, a lot of contact at the rim, no call. Coach Cormany mad, but John Marshall gets the bucket on the other end. So number 3, Ashawn Moore with the bucket for Marshall. So no contact call, 39-24. If you don't look at the score, you might actually think the Bobcats are
close.
Been playing pretty good, but
yeah.
39-24 is your score. So 36 seconds here to go in the half. Parker Prelo attacks the paint. A block at the rim by Parker Jr. And here we go the other way. Big-time block as Marshall looks to answer in transition, attacking the paint, gets it out to the corner. Number two, Damon Thompson gets another 3, so his third. He has 11, and Bobcats take a timeout, 42-24.
It looks like they didn't. I'm not sure what she called. The official blew the whistle, but it wasn't a timeout. Now she's trying to gather the other officials, so I don't know what the call was.
Well, you know what? I'll just say it then. They're having a tough night. That is not the reason the Bobcats are down 18 points in this contest. That is not the reason. But John Marshall called a timeout. The official didn't want to give it to him. No, it looks like now they're pulling him back on the floor. They said there's no timeout, so we're here to go. I don't think either team knows there's no timeout. The official is arguing with the other official, and we're getting ready to go. So they're having a tough day. But that's not the reason the Bobcats are losing by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I kind of would like to see us slow it down a lot more. They pressure us and try and speed us up, but I would love to see us slow it up and try and limit the number of touches that they have if there's any way to do that.
You know, it's tough with this trap. The trap is pretty impressive. It hasn't been the best thing I've ever seen, but the problem is when you rush, you turn the ball over, and they're going to try to get as many points up or as many field goals up. 7 seconds to go. Gavin Cormany attacking the paint, gives it off to Joseph Mitchell. Dribbles inside, mid-range jumper is good. Joseph Mitchell with his first points of the contest. So a good in there for the Bobcats. Get the points to go. But, Doug, they're still down 42-26.
Yeah, I would say I was hoping we would be a little closer at halftime. We're going to have to really step up the game and hit some more outside shots to have a chance to come back in this game.
Yeah, Bobcats trailing 42-26. We'll be right back with your halftime report. We'll go over all the stats and talk about what the Bobcats can do We saw the first game end 14. The team that won was down 14 and ended up winning by 3. Can the Bobcats fight? Have a lot of work to do, but if I know anything, the Bobcats are going to make a lot of adjustments at half. Michael Davis, Doug Knight on Bobcat Sports Live.
Hello, Bobcat fans. This is Timothy Worrells, one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network. And I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brick House Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats.
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Elysia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise Financial Advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future, as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Dynamic products backed by uncompromising service since 1978. That's 11 West in Radford, with more years of experience than anyone in the New River Valley. 11 West specializes in screen printing, embroidery, sew-on, and flat printing. Let our graphic arts department create something really special for you, and there's specialty products to choose from too. Phone 639-9319 for the most professional way to display your company, club, or team. It's 11 West on New River Road in Radford, and 11 West wishes all area teams the best.
Hello, Bobcat fans. This is Timothy Worrells, one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network. And I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brick House Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats!
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Elysia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise financial advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future, as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Dynamic products backed by uncompromising service since 1978. That's 11 West in Radford, with more years of experience than anyone in the New River Valley. 11 West specializes in screen printing, embroidery, sew-on, and flat printing. Let our graphic arts department create something really special for you, and there's specialty products to choose from too. Phone 639-9319 for the most professional way to display your company, club, or team. It's 11 West on New River Road in Radford, and 11 West wishes all area teams the best.
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats.
And we are back here. Bobcats trailing, unfortunately, 42-26 at your halftime break. This John Marshall team showing you exactly how and why they average almost 80 points a game and why they rolled through their region into this state playoff. As we're Michael Davis alongside Doug Knight today on Bobcat Sports Live are about to go over your halftime stats.
So for John Marshall, your leading scorer, no surprise, it's Dennis Parker. He with 13 points total. Damon Thompson lit up the second quarter there, scored all his 11 points in the second quarter. That was probably the difference maker in them gaining a bigger lead for that second quarter. You have Reggie Robertson with 6, Ashon Moore with 4. Steve Stinson, one of their top players, only had 2. He sat out a lot with 2 fouls in the first half. Dominique Bailey with 2 and Malachi Dark with 4. For the Bobcats, Landon Clark, 4 3-pointers, 12 points. Gavin Cormany, 7 points. Elijah with 2. Nate Wesley with 3. And Joseph Mitchell for 2. Some of the things that stand out to me looking at the stat sheets is one is turnovers. Bobcats with 12 turnovers. That was kind of one of the keys to the game, was being able to handle that trap and the pressure they're going to provide. Bobcats didn't do a good job, and that's probably the biggest difference in this game. The other is 3-point shooting for John Marshall. Second quarter, they were 6 of 7. That's 85%. That's insane for any level. That's like Steph Curry in practice kind of shooting. So Bobcats, what's happening there is John Marshall's getting down the court quickly. They're able to dish it out quick with the wide open threes, and they're knocking them down. So for the game, I believe they're 8 of 14 for 3-pointers. So Radford has to do a much better job of getting back and defending those threes and causing some havoc there.
Yeah, so a wild first half. You don't see that even on Bobcats teams, even at the state level. They've faced some teams that are really, really good, and the Bobcats can match it. This is even better, in my opinion, and I was talking before we came up here. Even when we played Mac McClung and those guys, when Mac McClung is now in the NBA, it's not what we saw. That game was close. I mean, the Bobcats had a lot of talent back then as well, but this is just a different style and level of play. And shout out to John Marshall. I mean, they have really – that being said, though, if you're Coach Cormany at half, what do you say?
Yeah, I think you're, again, trying to get them to settle down and slow it down, but they're going to have to get back on defense and be able to put pressure on those shooters as they're dishing the ball out. We've got to get back and be able to put pressure on them that way.
As it looks like John Marshall will start with the basketball here to start the second half. Number 5, Reginald Robinson, who averages 8 points a game, only with 3, will inbound, gives it up to Parker Jr. at the top of the key. Number 2, from 3, Damon Thompson leaves off exactly where he left off. I was hoping he put some ice on his shoulder there at break, but he now has 14 points, and they hit another 3. So they are, since the start of the second half, they are 7 of 8 from behind the arc.
The other thing is we're starting a different lineup here. Parker Prelude's out here, and Max Knipe are actually starting the second half, I guess giving Nate and Joseph a little rest.
Landon Clark from 3, no good, and it's rebounded by John Marshall in the corner, streaks out here. Number 5, Robertson with the basketball, resets. John Marshall had some open looks. I kind of believe they are in the driver's seat, and they feel like they're in the driver's seat as Gavin Cormany picks up his 3rd foul of the half. And, in fact, if you're going to have Dennis Parker guarded by Gavin Cormany, that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to change up who's been guarding. Gavin actually made a good defensive play there. He just brought his arm down, and as soon as you do that, the referee's going to call it.
Dennis Parker Jr. now with his first free throw made, as only his second time to the charity stripe, as Parker Prelo comes out of the contest. So Gavin Cormany with 3 fouls. And again, this goes back to, if you're going to try to win the contest, you have to have your best players on the floor, as Parker Jr. knocks that one down as well. So they're up 21 points here in the second half. Gavin Cormany has the ball at the top of the key for the Bobcats, being guarded. Gives it off to Elijah Kelly, who gives it off to Landon Clark in the corner. Elijah Kelly streaking to the basket, dump off pass by Landon. So the shot is good, and Elijah Kelly, that's what the Bobcats have to do. They have to penetrate. John Marshall's going to give you looks. You just got to finish.
Yeah, it was a nice little pick and roll type play where Elijah hit the baseline and the defender didn't go with him, so Landon made a nice little pass to him.
Parker Jr. misses the 3 ball, rebounded strong by John Marshall. Pass out to number 5, Robertson, who can't get it to go, and it will be tipped out of play by John Marshall on the rebound. So John Marshall getting 2 good looks there, can't capitalize, and so the Bobcats will inbound. Bobcats inbounding. Nathan Wesley gives it up to Gavin Cormany. Gavin Cormany has to start moving with the basketball as he is trying to get across half court, being heavily guarded. Reminds me of a West Virginia-style team. Gavin Cormany shot is up, no good. Landon Clark calling for it in the corner, but it will be John Marshall basketball. In transition, Parker Jr. shot is up and good. If you do not pick up Dennis Parker Jr. in transition, he'll make you pay.
And he's doing it time and time again. And I think Radford just calls a timeout, and I'm sure that is what Coach Cormany is going to be talking about, is we've got to get back and defend those threes. I mean, nobody jumped up to get him, and one of the core things you do in basketball is somebody's got to pick up the ball coming down the floor, and nobody did that. So I'm sure they're going to hear about it right now.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see teams in transition, if you don't pick up the ball carrier, will attack the paint, and you always scream, stop ball, stop ball. But against this John Marshall team, they're not looking to attack the paint in transition. They're going to look for wide open threes, and that is what allowed them to now be, I believe, 8 of 9 since the start of the second period.
Yep, they're red hot from the 3, and so we've got to adjust to that. We're not used to seeing somebody be able to hit that that consistently from three-point line, so we've got to adjust to it on defensively.
Bobcats just took a full timeout. Still on the floor here. Parker Pralo, Elijah Kelly, Gavin Corman, Nathan Wesley, and Landon Clark. If you're the Bobcats coming off this timeout, you look to get an open look, but you look to score. And it's going to be tough as you almost look to save face a little bit, and you hate to say that with, essentially the whole second half to go here, but the Bobcats definitely have a lot of work to do. And it's going to, in my opinion, have to start on the defensive end as the Bobcats have the ball, but they have to stop this John Marshall team somehow. Yeah,
we've got to be able to stop them and get those rebounds. I'd like to see us go back to a little of that two-man game with either Elijah and Landon or Gavin and Landon.
As Nathan Wesley attacks the paint, draws the block, and gets it to go. So old-fashioned three-point opportunity for Nathan Wesley. In fact, when he drived, I actually wanted him to shoot the three. He can knock it down. They're going to give him that shot as he attacks the paint, though, and gets it to go. So Nathan Wesley, the senior, who, in my opinion, put the Bobcats on his back when Landon Clark was out with that knee injury early on, gets it to go. So he now has 6 on the contest.
He's the one guy, he's kind of that X factor that hopefully can find a way to make some shots. I know when Max told me that during the one of the James River games, he was making some shots, and they were like, how in the world is he making those? As that's happening with Dennis Parker.
Dennis Parker Jr. knocks down another three. I'm going to just – you hate that it's happening to your Bobcats as Elijah Kelly answers with 3, his first three-pointer of the contest. Doug, I don't know about you. As unfortunate it is that the Bobcats is running into this buzzsaw of John Marshall, I'm going to kind of enjoy the shooting they are putting on right now.
It's impressive. It's actually – it was like nonchalant, just pull it up and shoot it.
Gavin Cormany being pestered all the way down the floor. Parker Jr. comes out of nowhere and pokes it out of bounds as Coach Cormany wanted the foul call. But I thought it was just pretty good defense there. But they are pestering, and they will all the way down the floor.
Yeah, they're grinding everybody. As soon as you get the ball, they're in your face and making you put the ball to the floor or make a good pass.
Gavin Cormany with the basketball as Landon Clark now gives it up to Parker Pralo. Parker Pralo pass to Elijah Kelly at the top of the key. Kelly looking to reset here. Bobcats, number 3, tries to jump the pass there. Ajon Moore called for a foul on Elijah Kelly. Between you and me, Doug, I kind of feel like that was a call just to settle down the Bobcat bench.
Yeah, John Marshall's trying to do this kind of the same thing James River did. Where they're trying to jump in front of Gavin and those guys when they go to their right. They try and jump in front of them to get them either get the charge or at least get them off balance and lose control of the ball. Gavin
Cormany dribbling, tries to get it to Landon Clark. Landon Clark with it, being pestered. Good defense by Dominique Bailey. Screen set by Elijah Kelly. Landon Clark. The thing about Landon Clark, if he gets some space, he can make the jumper, but John Marshall is pushing him off that three-point line. The Bobcats are going to have to set the screen at the three-point line to allow him to get it, as they actually called the ball out of bounds on John Marshall, but Nathan Wesley caught the basketball out of bounds.
Yeah, he lost control of it, and it went up in the air, and he just went out of bounds and caught it. I think if he had not touched it, it would have been easy to say, go ahead and keep it, but that was a mistake on the official there.
I think she had called it already in her mind. Yeah. As Bobcats get it in, Parker Pralo, mid-range jumper, no good. And here comes John Marshall. John Marshall, number 4, Bailey bringing the ball down, gives it up to Cords. Cords attacking the paint, loses possession but gets it back, and it's rebounded by Parker Jr. 3-ball, count it, and he's fouled by Elijah Kelly, and he will go to the line for 4.
That was unreal.
It was. Absolutely. And I hope what you're doing right now is watching on the NFHS network and listening to us on Bobcat Sports Live, because this is a game you really don't want to miss. Like, I believe Dennis Parker Jr. has a Kansas offer or a Kansas look, right?
He has a Kansas offer, yep.
So if they allow him to take that offer, if they'll accept it, he's going to be a good basketball player. Not even the biggest player on the floor at all times, but as Elijah Kelly looks to answer from 3, but rebounded by Parker. Dennis Parker Jr. in transition. Gives it up to Bailey. Stops, picks up his dribble. Passes it off to Thompson. Damon Thompson attacking. Gives it off to number 23, Stevie Stinson as he's attacked at the rim. This John Marshall team is just bully-balling the Bobcats right now.
Again, they had a wide open three, and he ended up driving into the lane and finding the open guy who went in for the dunk and got fouled by Nate. But we've got to be better about defending those guys out on the perimeter and stopping that penetration.
Brandon Thompson checking in for your Bobcats as Gavin Cormier looks flustered right now.
I think the whole team looks really tired, actually.
Yeah, well, you don't see this level of play as number 23 Stevie Stinson knocks it down. Bobcats, even when they may not be the favorite, have been able to stay in games with their athleticism and their skill, and they're just outmatched right now by John Marshall. Now, this is a young Bobcats team. Landon Clark, step-back jumper, no good. Rebounded by Elijah Kelly. Goes up strong, but it's poked away. John Marshall in transition, number 23. Bobcats wanted to travel. No call. Number 23, Stevie Stinson. As Bobcats wanted to travel, and it probably should have been. But that's no big deal. 61-34 your score. And that's the difference here. Just the level of play by John Marshall.
I kind of think about it as it's probably like one of the teams that plays us on a consistent basis. We're getting what we usually give to somebody else.
Absolutely. And you could argue that in a couple years as a great move at the rim by John Marshall here, in a couple of years, this Bobcats team with Elijah Kelly as a big block at the rim. There's so much going on, I cannot even tell you what is going on. So block at the rim by John Marshall, and number 4 in transition, Dominic Bailey attacks at the rim. This is what the Bobcats could look like in a couple years with Gavin Cormier, Elijah Kelly, and Lennon Clark as seniors. But that being said, this John Marshall team is dominant right now.
They're getting down the floor so fast. We look tired, honestly. So they're beating us down the floor and getting easy open baskets.
Landon Clark gets a 3, his first bucket of the second half. So he now has 15 points on the contest. Big boy Dirk underneath. Number 21, Malachi Dark gets it to go. That's just a big play by a big man right there by Dark.
Well, we should probably hold our feet and take the charge on that. He'd easily knock you down and be able to get that easy foul on him.
Gavin Corman, he tries to answer with the up and under, no good. In transition, number 23, Stevie Stinson putting on a dunk contest out here tonight. This is what you see, and I agree with you, Doug. This is what the Bobcats junior teams, having done on them, is fascinating to watch.
Yeah. It's amazing to watch because I would never expect to see that against our team. And at any, we've played a lot of teams that the North Sides and in the past Cave Springs, and none of them have ever done this to us. So to have this happen is so unusual.
A big, hard foul drawn by Landon Clark. Dark puts him on the floor, and that's just what you see, big-time players making blocks at the rim. That's a college foul right there. As he's got the size, if he was actually – he reminds me of a defensive end in football, but if he was like a couple more inches, he would definitely get some college looks out here. Because he's got the size to be, but he doesn't have the height to be with his skill set.
Yeah, he would have to be a little more athletic to be able to do that. But I could see him at a defensive end real easily.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm sure he does play football for John. Maybe not. Zion Williamson, you could argue, should have been a football player. And you see him now struggling in the NBA just because his size, he can't stay healthy. As Dark gets it inside-out game for John Marshall. No good, but they get the rebound and a travel's called.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, he grabbed it and walked before he passed it. Bobcats are actually trying to use a little bit of zone action there to try and slow it inside, especially with Dark in there. There's not a whole lot we can do with him. With Max Knipe guarding him, he pretty much he towers over him and powers over him.
Elijah Kelly dribbles behind his back, looking to answer. Nathan Wesley gives it out to Landon Clark. Landon Clark from college, 3, no good. And it's rebounded by John Marshall. And in transition, here we go. Dunk City by number 1, Kayshawn Cords. His first field goal of the contest. And that's the end of your third period. Bobcats trailing 71-40. John Marshall putting in the work today, and they're going to earn this state title, no doubt.
Yeah, I think from here on out, it's just try and limit the damage and try and have some fun with it going forward.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and we'll be right back with commercial break from Mullins Funeral Home, but this is Michael Davis, Doug Knight, Bobcats trailing at the end of the third period.
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats.
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug, who are proud supporters of Radford.
And we're back, start of the fourth period, as Bobcats do get an inbound. Landon Clark from three, no good. But I'll give John Marshall all the credit. They're having a lot of fun today, and this is kind of what high school sports are about. The band's rocking, the student section's rocking. John Marshall's scoring a lot of points, and they're having fun. I just kind of wish it was your Bobcats.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, it's their home city, so they got a good crowd here ready to cheer on. They're probably used to seeing this, having this kind of fun all the time with their teams.
John Marshall, mid-range jumper, no good. Rashawn Moore. As Elijah Kelly splits the defense, looks to go up and under, no good. Rebounded by Max Knipe. Knipe gets out to Landon Clark from three, no good. I was ready to get excited off that one.
We got to knock those down. Those wide open threes like that. I mean, I know it's easy to say.
Yeah, from over here as I'm sitting, and had no athletic ability in high school and couldn't play basketball if I tried. As Elijah Kelly is called for the travel as he was stopped by John Marshall player. I understand the game is a little out of hand, and in fact, we're actually at the clock roll. I didn't know that happens once you got to the playoffs. Yeah. As they just teed up Coach Gormany here, as he's frustrated. He's frustrated on a lot of levels. In his credit, John Marshall has played out of their mind, but these officials have struggled.
Yeah, they've let a lot of stuff go, and they've missed some really, really bad calls. Yeah, there was a push there, and they didn't call it, and that's what he was complaining about, because they've done that quite a bit. But
yeah, I do understand that the game is out of hand from a score perspective, but that doesn't mean the officials can just
let it go.
Yeah, I understand. Let's look at it from a football perspective, right? So in football, if the score is pretty lopsided, there may be things we don't call, but a few things that we obviously will call. We will call holding on the team that is up by 50, and we will call pass interference on the team that's up by 50. We may let a lot of other things go, but we won't let the team that's already up by 50 get away with things that they shouldn't. And so it's tough I understand that the score is pretty lopsided. We're technically at a running clock, but you can't allow the team that's already up just completely dominate.
Yeah, you can't
in that fashion.
You can't let them bully, because the other thing that happens sometimes is they take advantage of that, and all of a sudden you get injuries, you get people hurt, or you get other things that happen that you don't want to see happen out there. So they should be calling it the way it's played.
Parker Jr. from three, no good. Rebounded by Elijah Kelly. Gavin Cormany brings the ball down the floor. Full court press steal by John Marshall. Landon Clark with the basketball. Has 15 points today of 40 for your Bobcats. Elijah Kelly dribbling, handoff pass to Landon Clark. Landon Clark gets it in. It goes off of John Marshall, and I actually believe it hit Landon Clark, who's standing out of bounds.
I don't think it touched out of bounds, so I think that was a miss on that. We'll take it, though.
Yeah. Bobcats will inbound here, get it to Gavin Cormany behind the midcourt line as he dribbles to his right. Screen set by Knipe. Knipe's played really good minutes here today for the Bobcats. They get it inside to Elijah Kelly. So Elijah Kelly gets another bucket. But here comes John Marshall in transition. pass up the open three, being guarded by Elijah Kelly. Number 3 now with the basketball, Ashawn Moore. Stolen away by Elijah Kelly. Landon Clark in transition, gives it up to Elijah Kelly, gives it up to Parker Prelo. Parker Prelo to Knipe. Knipe shot is up, blocked at the rim as he gets the rebound up to Landon Clark in 3, no good. Rebounded strong by Parker Prelo. Gavin Cormany from 3, no good. And it's rebounded by John Marshall. I'd love some of these to go so I can react a little bit.
Yeah, it's just they're getting wide open shots. We just got to knock them down. Like I said at the beginning, we cannot afford to miss those opportunities.
I'll tell you who will knock them down, and that's Damon Thompson for John Marshall. He has 5 threes in the contest, as I feel like he has more than that, though. Landon Clark misses from 3 on the other end.
And he didn't do any in the first quarter, so that's all second, third, and fourth.
As we have 5 minutes to go here in the contest, Bobcats trailing 42-76. I've tried to stay away from the score so much as Max Knipe has called for a travel. I actually believe that should have been what would be a jump ball there, as it was blocked by John Marshall, but it didn't go out of his hand, so they called a travel. I don't disagree that it would have been John Marshall ball as they have the arrow, but it should have been. But that's semantics, Doug.
Yeah.
That's semantics.
Well, of course, I'm a little passionate about it, but I try not to show it too much.
Yeah, but that being said, this is Bobcat Sports Live, so we are biased here.
Yeah, true.
As John Marshall's, Parker Prelo, is called for a foul in transition. 42-76 here as, big Malachi Dark checking back in.
Brandon Thompson's going to be guarding him.
That's a tough matchup to ask.
You just look at the size differences.
As Parker went to get an alley-oop, actually thought he was fouled at the rim.
Yeah.
As Bobcats' Gavin Cormany brings it down the floor, tries to give it off the dump pass to Thompson, but here comes Marshall in transition. Number 5, Reginald Robertson gets it to go off the assist from Dennis Parker Jr. So Dennis Parker Jr. putting his hands all over this contest today.
They're just beating us down the floor. As soon as that ball goes up, they've got somebody running, and we can't get back to help defend it.
Gavin Cormany has the basketball at the top of the key, has to give it off to Elijah Kelly. As they're face guarding Gavin Cormany, Elijah Kelly gives it off to number 12 for the Bobcats, who just checked in, Jeremiah Eves. Parker Prelo now attacking as a foul is called on number 11, Dennis Parker Jr.
Yeah, Parker was going to try and drive to dish it, and Parker got both hands, or the Dennis Parker Jr. got both hands on him to hold him up.
Checking back in for John Marshall, number 4, Dominique Bailey. And it looks like number 10, Justin Brown Russell for the first time tonight. Back on the floor for your Bobcats, number 22, Thomas Grant checking in for the first time. As the Bobcats get it in to Parker Prelo, who gets it over to Elijah Kelly. Kelly dribbling between his legs, step back jumper guarded by Dark is no good. It's rebounded by John Marshall. Dark on the other end calling for it. Big man goes up for the slam, and it goes in as he gets it to go. And that student section's rowdy, and the fans are on their feet for John Marshall.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. Dark even beat everybody down the floor. The big man sitting there waiting on the ball, and they got it to him for the nice flush.
Reminds me of Big Baby Davis, who played for the Celtics for a while, as they actually just teed up Gavin Cormany, I believe. As you don't see that often. I assume Gavin Cormany said something to the official wanting – no, that's actually on John Marshall. I thought they called it on Gavin Cormany. My mistake.
I didn't see what happened. I just saw her give the tee and walk over there.
I don't know who that was on. That's wild. But Gavin Cormany will go to the line, misses the first. It was actually in the middle of play, too,
Yeah.
So that's unusual that they would just call a tee. I assume something was said to the official, or maybe to Gavin Cormany himself. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been obviously some talking going back and forth between the players.
Sure.
So maybe they heard something that we couldn't hear, but we'll take it.
Yeah, Bobcats down big here in the fourth as Nathan Wesley will check back in.
So the goal should be to keep it under 40. Everybody said we'll lose by more than 40, so maybe that should be our goal going out the rest of the way.
Yeah, 2 minutes ago, running clock here. It'll go off fast. Bobcats, Nathan Wesley attacking. Shot is up, no good. Joseph Mitchell in the corner from three, no good, long. And here comes John Marshall, 3-on-1 attack here. Bailey gives it up to Dark. Dark stolen away here by number 12, Jeremiah Eves. Baseball pass by Nathan Wesley. Known to be a baseball player. That pass comes up short. And alley-oop, number 1, Kayshawn Cords goes up for the alley-oop, but pushed by Nathan Wesley.
Yeah, Nate was backing in, trying to cut him off, and got in the way too much.
Yeah, that actually could be dangerous. You saw that in the Duke game earlier this year as someone went up for a dunk and he was undercut. Nathan Wesley did not foul him hard, but, that's, in my opinion, because the Bobcats have been pretty respectful today, because a lot of other teams, you might undercut that guy.
Yeah, it could be very dangerous because he's already committed to the jump, and somebody comes underneath and cuts his legs out. It wouldn't be good.
As this John Marshall team, the starters all come out, get a standing ovation. And you know what? I'll give a hats off to them as well. They've played really good today, and they deserve what they come in here and got. They've played spectacularly. This is a team that's got some guys going to the next level, going to play college. Hats off to the Bobcats for playing as well as they can, scoring 43 points, but they've earned this game today.
It's been impressive and fun to watch. As a guy who likes to watch basketball all the time, I have been so impressed with the way they defend, especially defend, and shoot the ball. The film that I've watched of them, they did not shoot the ball as well as they have tonight. So against a good Bobcat defense that defends very well, they've done extremely well shooting the ball.
And a lot of credit to them as well. You see a lot of teams with this much talent and skill, possibly a little bit undisciplined in other aspects of the game. They've come in, played very respectful basketball, have committed to themselves defensively and offensively as the Bobcats call a timeout, but they're just going to get some rotational subs here with 1:12 to go. But so hats off to them. Just an unfortunate that the Bobcats ran across this buzzsaw of a team, because Bobcats coming into this year with not a lot of state-run potential. You thought they got some talent, and any year the Bobcats can make a run at the state championship. They just happen to face the best team in the state by a mile.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have another COVID year where they decided Richmond schools didn't play. That might have helped us.
That would have been nice as the Bobcats turn the ball over here, but John Marshall will get it here. Leaking out in transition off of John Marshall, so it will be Bobcat basketball.
I thought they'd stop the running clock, but now they're going again. So,
well, just go ahead and get it over with, Doug. Save face for everybody. And 43-82 is your score. If I'm the Bobcats, I kind of just look to hold this out here, as I know you want to score a little bit, but as both teams have all reserves in at this point, so 28, as John Marshall comes up with another steal. And number 0 looks to attack the paint. Shot is up and no good. Rebounded by the Bobcats. Parker Praley will bring the ball. So with 15 seconds to go in your contest, running clock here, this looks to be the ball game. Shot is up here by number 12, Jeremiah Eves. He gets his own rebound. 5 seconds to go. They're going to look to put a capitalize on it. Dunk is no good. He tried to hold it in the air. I kind of would have liked to see that go in. But
especially from a reserve like that.
Yeah, that would have been great. They couldn't get it to go, and it's unfortunate. Bobcats lose 82-43 under the John Marshall Justices. That seems like a private school. Maybe they are private. They're just sneaking into this public school arena.
Yeah.
Just kidding here. As we'll be right back. Bobcats do not win the state championship. Fought hard, but this John Marshall team is good. We'll be right back. Go over all of your stats for this game, and then we'll sign off here. Michael Davis, Doug Knight with Bobcat Sports Live.
Hello, Bobcat fans. This is Timothy Worrells, one of the voices of the Bobcat Sports Live Network. And I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who make this happen. Mullins Funeral Home and Crematory, Davis Attorneys, Brad's Barbershop, 11 West, Dr. Bart Eastwood of Sideline Orthopedics, Dr. Kayla Mullins from Fairlawn Family Dentist, Sweet and Savory Donuts and Bagels, Ameriprise Financial, Radford Drug on West Main, and Brickhouse Pizza. Because of these Bobcat supporters, we are able to bring you all the action when life doesn't allow you to be here in person. Thanks, everyone, and go Bobcats!
Hey, this is Eli Mullins with Mullins Funeral Home in Radford, located right across from Sonic on Main Street, where we've been doing business for almost 100 years. We're thankful for the continued support of the people of Radford throughout all these years, and Bobcat Sports Live for allowing us to be there with the Bobcats when our schedules don't allow us to be there in person. Good luck and go Bobcats.
Step foot inside Brad's Barber in Radford and you'll be transported back to a time when men were men and getting a straight razor shave and a haircut was something that mattered. With no appointment needed, Brad's welcomes you with walk-ins only. Brad's Barber would like to introduce their new stylist, Elysia Blankenship, to the team. Reach out to Brad's at 838-2109. That's 540-838-2109. Brad's Barber is a proud supporter of Radford High School athletics. Go Bobcats!
For the past 86 years, Radford residents have had a pharmacy that they can rely on not just for medication needs, but even for items around the house, medical supplies, and friendly advice. Business of the Year award winners Radford Drug on West Main Street has been that cornerstone for your community. So whether it is a question about your medication, hardware you need around the house, or even a Mother's Day card, come see the folks at Radford Drug who are proud supporters of Radford High Athletics. For more information, call 540-639-3996.
When it comes to financial planning, one size fits all isn't a fit at all.
Talk with Ameriprise Financial Advisors Mark Tapp and Keith Weltons about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach.
It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach towards financial balance, so you can feel confident about the future, as well as your wants and needs of today.
The Confident Retirement Approach and a one-on-one relationship with an advisor like Mark or Keith will help you live life and save for tomorrow in a way that's right for you.
It's what financial balance is all about. So call Keith
or Mark
today at 540-639-5153.
Our office is located at 202 3rd Avenue in Radford, Virginia.
The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Dynamic products backed by uncompromising service since 1978. That's 11 West in Radford, with more years of experience than anyone in the New River Valley. 11 West specializes in screen printing, embroidery, sew-on, and flat printing. Let our graphic arts department create something really special for you, and there's specialty products to choose from too. Phone 639-9319 for the most professional way to display your company, club, or team. It's 11 West on New River Road in Radford, and 11 West wishes all area teams the best.
And we're back after they're giving out here the runner-up trophies and the state title. Again, John Marshall beats your Radford Bobcats 82-43. We're going to go over here the stats. We'll actually start with the Radford Bobcats for the first time this season. Gavin Cormany with 7, Nathan Wesley. I don't know if these are accurate, but I tried my best here. Nathan Wesley with 6, Joseph Mitchell with 2, Gavin Cormany with 7, Elijah Kelly with 9, Landon Clark with 15 for your Bobcats.
That sounds about right.
That sounds right, and that's what I thought was right. Now, John Marshall, I know it's not right because they were scoring so fast I couldn't keep up with it, but the 2 players for John Marshall, Damon Thompson, 18 points, had 5 3-pointers. I felt like he could not miss all night. Best player on the floor by far, Dennis Parker Jr. with 21 points, had 13 out of the halftime break, finished with 21, and they deserved every bit of that championship. Doug, I want to say thank you so much. Before we get out of here, do you have any last thoughts?
Well, I think if you look at this Bobcat team, today felt like the shoe was on the other foot. This is kind of the experience that some of the other teams get when we play them. So, as well as I don't think anybody expected this team coming off of the season they had last year and losing all of the players that we lost last year. Really expected them to come this far. I mean, they said it the other day. There's 52 Division II teams or Class II teams, and we finished second out of that. We were in the final two, and with everybody that moved on last year and the youth that we have on this team, this is almost overachieving in some ways. The kids may not tell you that, but I think if you really looked at it, it was overachieving and extremely excited about what's to come for the Bobcats in the next couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of talent coming up here, and the three main players for your Bobcats are sophomores, so a lot to look forward to. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer about it, but that means they just got to play John Marshall every year at this point.
Yeah, maybe they've actually petitioned to play a different level, and it's been rejected, so maybe they'll keep applying for that and eventually move to another level. That would be nice.
So they would like to play bigger.
They asked to play bigger schools, and that got rejected.
Wow.
I don't know. I guess it's because of the other sports, not just basketball.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day. So, Again, hey, I just want to say thank you so much. We here at Bobcat Sports Live could not do this without you. We cannot do it without our sponsors, Mullins Funeral Home, Brad's Barbershop, everybody in the community. I just want to say thank you from a guy who gets to do this night in and night out and watch these teams play. I couldn't be more excited to be here at VCU and calling this game for you today. So, again, Michael Davis, appreciate you, Doug, for being with me here today. It's been a blast. Unfortunately, your Bobcats couldn't come away with a victory. But, again, it's been a fantastic year. And that being said, on Bobcat Sports Live, we are going to change the way we do some things in the future, looking with the spring. So I'm going to pull a ask forgiveness, not permission, and we'll be giving you some live feeds to some games, audio and visual, in the spring. So look forward to that on Bobcat Sports Live to be able to watch those contests. Again, Michael Davis alongside Doug Knight today, your state championship. Bobcats